Hello, everybody, or anybody that may tune in to see this. Chris Wood here. Welcome to my channel. First off, I gotta say congratulations to Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police for 3 years of stalking, having me injured, tortured, sex assaulted, kidnapped, falsely arrested, stalked, identity theft, seriously deformed, skull split, brain injured, body mutilated, medically blacklisted, medically discriminated against for 3 years for revenge retaliation for me speaking of their crimes since 2019. So I would also like to say, this is just a quick update, I would also like to say that OPP Spencer Mills 14716, Staff Sergeants Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston, and because there's more victims there, and Shelley Huffner, who is OPP and a mental health worker. There's Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, Stacy's girlfriend, the one that signed my death certificate pretty much to get me medically blacklisted, discriminated against, so I wouldn't be taken serious of what was taking place with me and by whom, how, and why. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, a triage nurse Tanya, a triage nurse Terry, a triage nurse David, and paladin security guard. To William Billy Wooldridge, to Tyler Lake, to Blair Hardy, to Jay Vanalstine, to Ray, to Sam, Michelle, Ellie Cooper, Bucktooth Bob, A.K. Robert Berry, Bert Hustler, Maggie Falls, who is an undercover and a pill dealer here at Napanee. I am the victim of identity theft, kidnapping, with identity theft with the intent to frame through OPP and Hells Angels boss William Bill Wooldridge of 149 Center Street North, Napanee. He is a sex offender, a child stalker for the ex-chief. He is a dangerous offender, highly delusional drug trafficker. He thinks that he is me. He thinks that he is Harry Potter. He also believes that we were switched at birth when I am 50 and he is 71, 72 years old. But that's the meth psychosis that he is in and his other delusions, and believes it. He also thinks that he's my dad as well. So, and we are not related in any way, shape, or form. He is highly obsessed, deadly highly obsessed with me. Blair Hardy is deadly highly obsessed with me. Tyler Lake is deadly highly obsessed with me. Jay Vanalstine is deadly highly obsessed with me. All of these people, they are using what is called remote neuromonitoring. It is a microchip implant. It is a nano microchip implant. It is police and military tech. It's been in use since the 60s and not many people know about it. But what it is designed to do is destroy a person's central nervous system on them. I am getting this used on me for the past 3 years. Medical blacklisting, medical discrimination, and everything else against me to prevent me from getting any medical help, to prevent me proof. I've been prevented legal help. I've been prevented my human rights. And how is because of the remote neural monitoring use I have on me, which is 24-hour, 24/7 surveillance. Also, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jay Vanalstine, Billy Wooldridge, they are all using this on me and many others 24/7. This is how I'm going through my identity theft. This is how I'm going through my identity changes. This is how I am being mentally screwed up. This is how I'm being mentally injured. Is from having EMFs and radiation on my brain 24/7 and other stuff going through my body. When they are using RNM on me and broadcasting through me, their body fluids go through me, their feces and their piss goes through my body from them. And that is no joke. It goes through my complete right side my right side is completely screwed. My right lung, my right kidney. Back in 2019, I was shot by the ex-chief and somebody in a black truck in my right ear. And ever since then, that's when the lies, the time buying, the cover ups, and the arrest refusals, except for on me for wanting police, doctors, and their inmate bosses and co offenders arrested and charged. I've been surrounded hands on guns to prevent anything, and I have video to show it. I was kidnapped May 27, 2021, to 24 hours after asking for help. What has taken place with me now, and that was in an attempt to shut me up so I wouldn't be showing and talking about what I'm showing and talking about now. And that was done through Shelley Hafner and incompetency bullshit, using the fact that I'm not eating. I eat just fine. I eat every single day. And if she's so worried about me not eating, why wasn't she buying my groceries and buying my food when there's people worse off than me, homeless people? And other ones that are going without. If why be so worried about me when there is people worse off than me? You should be spending your money helping them out. You should be much spending your money feeding them instead of having people for bullshit and competency so you can get away with crimes. I spoke of police crimes, OPP crimes back in 2019 out of the Morning Star mission, the human homeless trafficking, and the homeless exploitation crimes that were taking place and other stuff. And as a result, I became a victim. I have prisoner tracking on me, and after the remote neural monitoring, William Billy Wooldridge came onto the scene, and he started stalking me constantly. Every time I would go out, he was always right there. Every time I would move, he was always right there. He was going by my house sometimes 12 to 15 hours a day. This is how bad it was at my previous address when this first started. I would walk downtown, he was always right there. He always knew where I was, and so do OPP because of my illegal prisoner tracking and the remote neural monitoring use on me. This is how they traffic their victims. This is how they frame their victims, and this is how they are murdering their victims here in Napanee. They're using inmate junkie co-offenders who are dangerous offenders. They're using the remote neural monitoring, causing identity thefts. They were stalking, William Wooldridge was stalking my mother, using R&M on her as well. And from her age and the EMFs and radiation, it caused tumors, causing cancer, causing her death. And it was done with intent to do this to me because I am now the end of my bloodline. All of this can be proven. All as they have to do is go to 149 Center Street North, Napanee, and arrest the piece of shit. I would do it, but I am not going to be shot by OPP so they can protect him and protect them and the doctors and everybody else here involved. Anybody that's been arrested or charged by OPP in Lennox and Annington, I would seriously fight it because it will not be true. It will not be real. They do false fake arrest their victims to deflect the crimes that they are guilty of against their victims. I can prove it. It's been done to me to keep me for 8 months, 8+ months away from getting medical help through harassment bullshit for me phoning patient relations and wanting and letting them know what was taking place with the hospital and the doctors, and as a result, what should happen, and being arrested and charged. So they took it upon themselves and co-conspired with OPP and came up with this bullshit and had me falsely charged to deflect the crimes against me, using their badges, positions, credentials, false guise of law to be unsuspecting of it, and I will not be proven wrong, right, Spencer Mills? Using fucking people that are associated to Russell Williams, including yourselves, OPP, still. So after 3 years, for your revenge retaliation, your little drug-fed co-offender scapegoats did your job for you. Not only do they get an identity theft, but you also get your homicide for revenge retaliation for me speaking of their crimes, of your crimes, through these pieces of shit. Isn't that right, OPP? That's how you're doing things, and having your doctors who are co-committing and just as guilty of homicide, lies, time buying, and cover-ups as the rest, and need to be criminally arrested and felony charged for such crimes, for attempted murders, for being involved in identity thefts, ending bloodlines for OPP revenge and Hells Angels banditos, your boss, so he could stay free. You're taking my life and giving it to him. I was sold by OPP. As a matter of fact, I would like to know, how much money did you make from me, OPP? How much money was I sold for, Spencer Mills? I would at least like to know that, seeing I'm being murdered, seeing I am the end of my bloodline, and you are taking it and getting away with this, even having a justice of the peace here in Napanee to make accusations against your victims to prevent arrest, to buy time, to obstruct. No matter how much you can prove crimes in Napanee, it still will do no good, trust me, especially if you were poor, homeless, elderly, disabled, even natives. They are racist hate criminals as well. They're guilty of domestic terrorism. Because of this, tech is police and military as well, and they are using it criminally on victims, so they are guilty of domestic terrorism, using it to murder people, financial thefts and frauds, murders, insurance frauds and murders to collect on your victims. Spencer Mills, staff sergeants, Billy Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jay Vanalstine, and the rest of you fucks who are untouchable here in Napanee, and I've proven it every step of the way. OPP work for them because they're Hells Angels and banditos, and they're also co-offenders. Human sex trade, slavery, trafficking. They are buying and selling your children to pedophiles. They are buying and selling adults to sex offenders. They are buying and selling lives like they own them. As you can see, my identity theft and change is done. I no longer look like my old true self. My skull's been split. It's been deformed to about 50 different ways, shapes, and sizes. I've been proving it. It's been flattened. It's been rounded out. It's been elongated. It's been widened. And how it's being done to me is through the R&M you saw me conveniently given to these bastards through OPP who were responsible. You were nothing but mass murderers, plain and simple. I am not going to pay $22,000 to have William Billy Wooldridge arrested or any other OPP co-offender bosses that you were trying to protect. You extorting motherfuckers. You commit every crime possible. This is how you make your money. You end bloodlines. You murder. You frame. You traffic. You buy, sell lives like you own them. Using your badge, using your guns, using doctors, using inmates, using the tech that a lot of people do not know about or aware of, or even willing to take the 2 seconds to even research it. Me being called crazy, me being called a retard, me being told by Dr. Waldron at Lennox and Annington County General Hospital identity thefts cannot happen. my skull swelling up, me being told that I needed a head shrink, pun intended by doctors there, being kicked out, not being seen, or being belittled. And then when I do walk out, they were turning it around to make it look like I was refusing treatment. No, it's not the case at all. I wasn't refusing anything. I'm just not going to sit there and be treated like a piece of shit and expect and to take it. I'm 50 years old, whether I look it now or not, because of all the different fucking changes going on with me from this. I'm having trouble seeing. I have no hearing in my fucking right ear anymore. This whole completely right side of my head is swelled right up. I have minimal vision in my right side now. From it feels like I'm getting air pumped through my body. There is also a woman that lives on the corner of Center Street and Thomas. She is also using this shit on me as well as with uh, Bert Hustler, who's been using this on me quite a bit. This whole right side of my face is completely fucking swelled right up. This is what happens in Napanee when you speak of police crimes and you try to save lives from people. Families are murdered and missing. Let this be a lesson. This is how they get away with their crimes here. You can see my head split right here in this. It's all swelled up right in here. And this is right now from Tyler Lake broadcasting through me and Jay Vanalstine through the R&M. They're the bastards that are doing this the most to me. This is a picture of me. There's been serious changes since then, which I have proven many times. All of these pictures can be seen on my Facebook, Christ Wood, ChristWood at Facebook. And you will see a lot of different pictures of me to prove that identity theft and identity changes can and do happen. And I 100% prove it while being called a liar at the same time and not being able to do anything about this. So I hope if anybody does see these, they do share them because it is very serious. This needs to be gotten out. I am a human trafficking victim, and this is how it's being done. They're using remote neural monitoring on children as well, and they're using it for invasive surveillance and spying on them, watching them go to the bathroom, watching them do everything, and adults as well. And a lot of people may not even be aware that it's being used on them. They're using it to get financial information from victims because they're using it to broadcast over and through their victims, almost like a hologram, as crazy as this may sound. And I do realize that for the ones who are not aware of this or will not take the opportunity to even have an open mind or research anything. Because, like I said, this has been military tech that's been in use since the 60s, and it is police and military, and I've proven it. This is another picture of me. I actually had to shave my head because of the damages that were being done to me, just to show and prove the deforming that was taking place within my skull. and so I could get better pictures of it. I had nice, long, good hair. I also had a nice, long beard, too, that was almost down to my belly. And I was also made to shave that off because it was being burned off of my face from this shit. So I basically had to shave my head and cut my beard off. So you cannot have long hair, you cannot have a beard in Napanee because these bastards will take you as a terrorist. They're also using illegal Clearview AI to frame victims as well. This is why I was falsely arrested, so they could get my prints and my pictures and my signatures and everything else they needed for this identity theft. And I will not be proven wrong. I hope you're liking what you're doing right now, Jay Vanalstine, you piece of shit garbage. And I know whose face this is on mine right now in this part. He's a guy here in Napanee. He wears glasses too, black glasses. He has brown hair. He's young, approximately 30, and he hangs out with Tyler Lake. He usually, in the summertime, he rides a BMX. He has thick black glasses, and he wears wife beater shirts. I know that's a lot of people here in town and don't really help a lot, but that's who's doing this. Isaac, another goof here in town, uses this on me. A woman named Michelle, a woman named Ellie Cooper, and Bucktooth Bob. The woman on Center and Thomas Street, she uses this on me. Curtis uses this on me. This is the fucking piece of shit garbage that's doing this, whether it's a real picture or not, but he is now bald with a goatee and glasses because he is an identity thief and he is a mimicker, and this is the one that's alleged Hells Angels boss, Ontario chapter leader. So this is another picture that's more me, my image. I've had approximately 3 inches lost off of my skull from it being deformed so much, and I've not had any surgeries either prior to or after. I've had lies cast against me stating I have a long criminal record in history, and I've never been in any one of those places. I've never been in jail charged except for recently last year to deflect the crimes against me from OPP and to give me that record, which was in an attempt by that. That was the first time. I've never been in any psych hospitals or anything like that. That's all bullshit lies. Lies against me stating I'm a self harmer and suicidal, and that's certainly not true. I've been trying to save my life. I love myself, not to harm myself. Lies against me stating that I have drugs when I do not do drugs, and I haven't done any hard drugs since 2012 when I overdosed and had my wake up call. I've had a few slips now and again. I'm not perfect, but I don't do this shit and I don't plan on doing it, and I have no use for it and I want nothing to do with it. I've lost too many friends and family from junk drugs. I don't even drink alcohol. I don't buy it. If it's offered to me, I'll have a beer now and again by somebody with friends, but I do not buy it. So, all because Stacy telling lies to Tatiana from her girlfriend the day she showed up at the hospital of my CAT scans back in November of 2019. And after she did, that's when the medical blacklisting started as well. And then I would go to different hospitals. It would be, what do you expect us to do for you, Mr. Wood? Or we seen your file, we seen your file, we seen your file. Wondering what the hell's going on, especially with me not being at any hospital in any way, shape, or form, or doctors in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to that. And then all of a sudden, these doctors and hospitals have this big thing. I see in your file, they have a big falsified file on me. And that's exactly what that is. That's to cover this crime up against me. I get other people's blood, or I get other people's piss and shit going through my body doing this. I am being OPP are giving these sons of bitches $300 a day plus all the drugs they want. And they are using this on me like it is a game. They are using homicide like it is a game. They're getting away with what they did to my mother, murdering her. They're getting away with all the crimes to me for 3 years, including ultimately my murder, or I will be taken from the R&M on me and the prisoner tracking on me. Convenient mistaken identity is one of these pieces of shit. Isn't that right, OPP? But I'm not taking a fall for any of your little fuck toys, because Blair Hardy is also Spencer Mills' drug cop. He's also co-offender, drug trafficker, and he is also boyfriend to Spencer Mills. Billy Wooldridge is the one that gives the orders. He is the Hells Angels Ontario chapter leader, and Blair Hardy is Banditos and boyfriend of Spencer Mills, and they both give orders to the cops. Jay Vanalstine and Tyler Lake and others are the ones that take the orders under them for their money and their little bit of drugs every day. So, like I said, anybody that's ever been in trouble by OPP, fight it, because it will not be real. It will be fake. It will be false. They're using Quinny Detention Center as a means to be unsuspecting of the crimes that they're committing after they are committing their crimes against them. So they're using that as a hub and a means to be above suspicion of their human trafficking crimes once they falsely charge and criminalize their victims, and it's provable. So beware of that, people. They are pedophiles. William Wooldridge was stalking children for the chief and himself for human sex trade, slavery, trafficking. And when I got his picture, the one that I've shown many times, he went into hiding for a long time. And then he conveniently reappeared living right across the road from my now previous address. So that was just too convenient. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a good, safe day, and I hope everybody has a good, safe weekend. And this only just isn't about me, it's about what's taking place with me, but it's not just about me. This is about the public as well. This is about your knowledge of what has taken place for your safety and for your family's safety, your children's safety, and your parents' safety, because of how it's being done and who it's being done by. And this has nothing to do with any hate towards police in any way, shape, or form. This is about police, doctors, and others committing very serious crimes and getting away with it, and how it's being done. Families are murdered and missing, not all of them, but some of this is how it's being done, is through the remote neural monitoring use on them, causing brain damages, brain injuries in your victims, to cause memory losses, to cause long-term memory losses in your victims, to get away with your crimes, in hopes that they go crazy, in hopes that they forget about the crimes that are taking place with them while they're being seriously injured and not being able to do anything about it and get any help for it. You certainly count on that, don't you, OPP, especially right here in Napanee, knowing that you got all your cops to cover up, plus doctors, plus a JP. You got scapegoat inmates and drug-fed co-offenders here in Napanee you will not touch. Laughs and Faces by Shannon Cork telling me to file a report. It would have been ripped up, tore up. I'm not that stupid for her arrest on her boss, as she laughed in my face after she told me what kind of glasses I should even get, as William Wooldridge went on to murder my mother, and she was well aware of what was taking place. She very well knew that he was going to go on and do that to her, along with Blair Hardy, because it was pre-planned and premeditated. And I say that without paranoia, and I will not be proven wrong. I've already proven one too many crimes against me, especially this what's taken place. The guy on the bottom in the black toque, that is William Wooldridge. He now has a goatee, glasses, and he is bald, pretty much like Blair Hardy, the guy up top. And they're guilty of terrorism, they're guilty of domestic terrorism, they're guilty of hate crimes, they're guilty of human rights violations and crimes, along with Lennox and Addington County General Hospital. Somebody needs to come in and actually felony criminally arrest and charge these people for the crimes that they are committing. I'm losing my life, I'm losing my bloodline, and my mother lost her life so OPP could get away with this for revenge retaliation on me. I got stuff in my body that is doing this shit to me. My body's being decayed. I only have one lung now, and all of this could be proven, but I can't go to the hospital. Last time I tried, Paladin security came out and pretty much told me to get the fuck out of the hospital and that nobody was going to see me. And that was done without just cause for anything. I walked in, told them what was taking place. They told me to sit down and wait for triage to see me. I did that. Nothing else was said or done. Next thing you know, Paladin came out and did that to me. So fine, I got up and left. And that day, it caused my eyes. It caused me a lot of harm to my kidneys and my lung. After that, that's when the problem started that day, and that's why I was at the hospital. So Paladin security guard there, he is also guilty of attempted homicide as well. The guy, he's approximately 500 pounds, roughly 23 to 25 years old. He himself obviously looks like a fat pedophile. You like the little children there, fat Paladin guy? Because you're associated with nothing but pedophiles and human traffickers. How much drugs are you selling through OPP now to your Paladin security guards, to your boys? Are you getting the drugs from them, the coke, the crack, and you're reselling it to Paladin, to other security guards there, helping them human traffic, keeping people from getting medical helps on the promises, most likely being promised a job is becoming a cop. Is that how that happened, or why you did that? Funny how nobody has to answer for anything, and yet I have to do this every time just to prove what has taken place with me and all the changes. And no matter, even still, no matter how much I'm proving anything, it will do no good. Let that be a lesson to people here in Napanee. Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jay Vanalstine, and the rest of you pieces of shit, one way or another, no threat. You will pay legally for everything that you've done, and you will be recognized for the no good garbage that you really and truly are, using your badges, positions, inmates, co-offenders, and everything else that you do here in Napanee to commit your crimes and get away with them. You became cops because you knew Napanee. You became cops because you knew that this was an easy place to commit homicides and other crimes in, and with lots of cover-ups. You knew it was an easy way to commit your crimes and get paid for it as well, because society actually pays cops to murder them. They do the crimes, they get busted, they do not see jail, they see a paid vacation, and therefore that's a win-win situation for them. They can take life and they get awarded for it by that kind of bullshit. Paid leaves while being under investigation. That's a bunch of bullshit right there. And that shit needs to fucking stop. We are paying these bastards to murder us. And that is a fact. They are very seriously dangerous people. They are threats and dangers to society, every last one of them. Once again, Spencer Mills, Ontario Provincial Police, Lennox and Annington 14716. Staff Sergeants, Ex-Chief Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, Shelley Hafner, and Stacy, mental health worker, now Kingston. Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, given even false names. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Barton, Triage Nurse Terry, David and Tanya, and Paladin. William Bill Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, Napanee, Ontario, once again, alleged Hells Angels Ontario chapter leader and sex offender. He's a serial killer and untouchable. There's Blair Hardy, Bandito MC leader, co-offender, boyfriend of Spencer Mills, co-drug trafficker, co-human trafficker, pedophile, identity thief, and also guilty of murdering my mother with William Wooldridge. Guilty of attempted murder on me are all the police and doctors, plus Tyler Lake, Jay Vanalstine, Ray, Sam, Allie Cooper, Bear, Robert Barry, Bucktooth Bob, the woman on the corner of Center and Thomas, Curtis, Michelle, and the rest of you pieces of shit garbage that are doing this. My body fills up with water, my body fills up with other people's body fluids, and then I get seriously dehydrated. I have no stimulation or feeling in my head anymore whatsoever from being injured and deformed so much over the course of 3 years. None. And that's supposed to be normal? I don't think so. So you got away with your homicide, OPP. I'm not taking a fall for Wooldridge, though. You did it, you garbage fucks. Let this be a lesson to the public. This is how they get away with their crimes here in Napanee. They commit serious identity thefts. OPP, you are guilty for committing probably the biggest crime in Lennox and Addington, Ontario, Napanee history. How many others are you doing this to? How much was I sold? How much was my bloodline and life sold for your revenge? How much money did you make? How much money are you making from your victims, OPP? And doctors that you're sharing the wealth with, your inmates, your bosses. You are junk garbage doing this to people. At least one thing, no matter what happens to me, I hope this is seen and it gets out because you need to be recognized for the pedophile, sex offending garbage that you truly are. I've been on here long enough. I am going to wrap this up. I just want to say I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope this is seen. I hope that it's taken serious. If you like what I've had to say or you have anything to say, please leave a comment, hit the like, share, subscribe, and definitely share because this is a matter of life and death. Like I said, I am the end of my bloodline, and I've done everything possible to try to save myself. Love all, hate none.